This is the Piccola HD Titanium, Trickstuff's newest brake that officially launched today. It's a 4-piston brake with an eye-catching 3D printed titanium lever blade, and it has some big boots to fill. Trickstuff markets this brake as being for low-meat top-to-bottom runs with the power to prevent unnecessary cooldown brakes unless you need one yourself. I honestly can't think of a product that has been more closely marketed toward me in years, so I'm excited to see if they can live up to that hype. I've been testing these brakes for the past few weeks, and they're very interesting. Are they just a piece of bicycle jewelry, or do they have the performance to match their futuristic looks? Let's get into it. After I released my in-depth Maxima review last November, Trickstuff reached out and offered to send me 2 more brakes from their lineup, their 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍𝙎 and this Piccola HD Titanium. In exchange for these 2 brake sets, which I do get to keep after my testing is concluded, I will be releasing an in-depth review of both brake sets, along with a comparison video outlining the similarities and differences between these 2 brake sets. Trickstuff will be sponsoring that comparison, and I think it'll be particularly interesting, given that one has a radial lever and one has an axial lever, but both use identical calipers. Now, everything said in this video is my opinion, and I am not receiving any monetary compensation for this video, nor will I be running any affiliate links for these brakes or related products. Trickstuff was not provided a preview of this video, my script, or the Dale scale, and are watching this video for the first time exactly when you are. I believe that explicitly addressing potential conflicts of interest like this is key to maintaining journalistic integrity, and I would like to sincerely thank Trickstuff for being the first brand to trust me with a pre-release product. This represents a big step for my channel, and is something that I definitely did not have on my 2025 bingo card. Now, I provided a brief history of Trickstuff in my Maxima review, which I definitely recommend checking out, but I feel it's important to quickly recap some of those points with the introduction of my new Ethos category for 2025. Trickstuff is a German brand that was founded back in 2004, giving them over 20 years of experience with hydraulic disc brakes. LinkedIn suggests that Trickstuff has between 11 and 50 employees, making them a small to medium-sized company. Trickstuff prides themselves on designing and manufacturing all of the brakes in Germany, something that is made exceptionally clear on every wooden box, in every review, and on their website. They claim that every brake is assembled by hand, and that everything from concept to development, assembly, and quality control happens under one roof in Freiburg, let's go with that. Trickstuff emphasizes the importance of repairability, citing that mountain biking often involves the occasional tumble. Wear and tear, as well as crashes, are all part of the experience. Their documentation is exceptionally clear for both routine maintenance and teardown style servicing, with step-by-step instructions and videos available in both English and German. It is stereotypically the German way to leave no room for interpretation, and I do appreciate that. Trickstuff also has an excellent reputation online for providing top-tier product support, and spares of just about everything can be purchased by reaching out to their support team directly, although I do wish that they had a future spare parts guarantee, and that spares could be available to be anonymously purchased online as well. The employees that I spoke with mentioned that their support team's primary goal was to get people back on their bikes rather than making money, which I definitely enjoyed hearing. They also do an exceptional job of recognizing their employees on their Instagram page with their recurring Rides of Trickstuff series, where they effectively introduce us to each employee disguised as a bike check. In an age where faceless megacorporations are becoming the norm, it's refreshing to actually see the hardworking people behind a given brand. Now, somewhat puzzlingly, I was unable to find an About Us, history, or social initiatives page on Trickstuff's website, which I believe that they stand a lot to benefit from, given their implicit emphasis on sustainability and their wealth of experience making high-end mountain bike brakes. I was also unable to find a warranty page on their website, although they mentioned, unprompted to me, that this will be added within the next few weeks, citing that all of their brakes come with an industry-standard 2-year warranty against manufacturing defects. Trickstuff's social media presence has improved significantly over the past couple of years, and I hope that they are able to bring the information on their website up to that same standard. I'm going to give them a 7 out of 10 in the Ethos category, as a brand that I feel better than average about giving my money to, with room to move upwards for sure by adding key information and clarity to their website. I think that Trickstuff is doing a lot of things right, but they need to tell me with concrete numbers in order to know that. Today is the official launch of the Piccola HD Titanium brake set, and in order to understand where it sits in their lineup, we're going to have to do a bit of history here. Yesterday, Trickstuff had 4 brakes in their lineup, and from most aggressive to least aggressive, they are the Maxima, 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍𝙎, Piccola HD Carbon, and Piccola Carbon. I've already dove into the Maxima, so let's quickly take a look at the other 3. The 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍 is a 4-piston brake that is marketed as being able to give you the precision needed to tackle even the gnarliest, most demanding direct lines. It sports an axial lever design, similar to the Maxima in general appearance, with an internal linkage that helps to progressively increase braking power throughout the stroke in order to minimize rider fatigue. Trickstuff claims that their 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍 is a Category 5 brake that is rated for extreme jumps and speeds in excess of 40 km/h on rough trails for a max system weight of up to 120 kilograms. The Piccola Carbon is a 2-piston brake that is marketed as being as light as possible with no gram going uncounted, and is targeted specifically toward the XC and marathon race demographic. It sports a radial lever design with a linear power curve for predictable braking forces and precise modulation. production. Trickstuff claimed their Piccola Carbon is a Category 3 brake that is rated for rough terrain and unimproved trails with drops and jumps less than 61 centimeters, an incredibly specific number for a max system weight of 110 kilograms. The Piccola HD Carbon was a mix and match between these two brake sets, pairing the 4-piston C42 caliber from the 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍𝙎 model with the lightweight radial lever of the Piccola Carbon model. The result is a brake set that is targeted for riders looking to do top-to-bottom runs of loamy untouched trails without having to take unnecessary cooldown breaks unless they need them themselves, which literally could not describe me any better. The Piccola HD Carbon is rated for Category 4 riding, defined as speeds up to 40 kilometers an hour on rough trails, and jumps and drops less than 122 centimeters, with a maximum system weight of 120 kilograms. Surprisingly, there is extremely little information about these brakes available on the English internet, and the only in-depth review I could find was from the German Bike Magazine YouTube channel, which called them the new benchmark for MTB disc brakes, a 2x test winner. Extremely interesting indeed. The 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍𝙎, Piccola HD Carbon, and Piccola Carbon all retail for the exact same price of 1,100 euros including VAT, converted at the exchange rate of your choosing. And today, we now have the Piccola HD Titanium, Trickstuff's new replacement for the Piccola HD Carbon. They arrived in a fancy wooden box with words "Made in Germany" proudly burned onto the lid. The unboxing felt like a luxury experience, at least I assume so because I'm poor, and not like every other bicycle component. The Piccola HD Titanium, which I'll now refer to as the Piccola HD to save some syllables, features the exact same 4-piston C42 caliper as its predecessor and as the 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍. The difference is on the other side and of course is somewhat obvious in its name. Mounted to the Piccola master cylinder is a beautiful 3D printed titanium lever blade that I have a lot to say about later in this video, but first let's take a few notes from Trickstuff's official media kit. Trickstuff claims that titanium is known for its toughness and corrosion resistance to moisture and sweat. Although it isn't inherently lighter than aluminum, it is stronger, allowing for less material to achieve the same strength, especially so when combined with additive manufacturing technologies or 3D printing methods. The ability to print hollow structures or complex geometries is especially interesting, and the contact surface of the lever blade exemplifies this perfectly, with a honeycomb pattern designed to reduce weight and increase grip that wouldn't be possible with traditional manufacturing methods. They also embossed a Trickstuff logo onto the backside of the lever blade, which is very cool and the single biggest flex that I've ever seen on a bike part. Trickstuff is especially excited about being able to create new shapes that would be impossible to make in the past, along with being able to precisely tune the wall thicknesses to optimize for strength and weight. They also highlight that 3D printing titanium has a high material efficiency, with excess powder and support structures being fully recycled. The only issue I have with this media kit is where they claim that the lever is manufactured in Germany, ensuring the highest precision and quality in production. It's great to be proud of and shout about local manufacturing, and it's something that I personally look for as a paying customer, but implying that a product is superior due to the country in which it's manufactured is simply nationalistic pride rather than meaningful science. The playing field has leveled significantly over the past few decades, and there's really no way to know the country of origin simply by looking at any product. Trickstuff started experimenting with 3D printed levers in 2022 with Triumph, and debuted a sneak peek of this new technology at Eurobike in 2023. After a positive reception there, they began the task of bringing this design into mass production, and after 2 years of testing, it's finally here. The Piccola HD Titanium is available at the exact same cost of the outgoing model, which is 1,100 euros including VAT directly from Trickstuff's website, 1,180 freedoms through DT Swiss USA, or 2,000 maple syrups through Outdoor Gear Canada, Trickstuff's newest official distributor. The titanium lever kit will be available separately, weighs just 14.5 grams with bearings, and is backwards compatible to both the Piccola Carbon and HD Carbon models. It can be purchased for 130 euros including VAT, or 130 Murikas. It's worth noting that the Piccola Carbon will not be superseded by a Piccola Titanium model, as carbon is ultimately lighter than titanium, and that is the focus on that model. But let's put money aside for now and focus on the product itself. The C42 calipers were first released in June of 2022, and the original Piccola levers appear to have been launched way back in August of 2016. Of course, there have been running changes made along the way, but this makes the platform architecture of the Piccola HD Titanium quite old, which is something that Trickstuff is justifiably proud of. There's no need to fix something that isn't broken, and it's nice to see Trickstuff avoiding the model year plague that most of the industry falls victim to. There's definitely a value to having a proven platform that remains ahead of the curve through continuous improvement, rather than artificial innovation by way of marketing hype. In terms of industrial design, I am comfortable in calling the Piccola HD Titanium perfect. The master cylinder is tiny, sleek, and distinctive. The calipers are sharp, minimalist, and recognizable without being overstated. And the titanium lever blade is the icing on the cake, with intricate details throughout and a futuristic look not like anything else in the category. The brake hoses are nearly invisible to the rider at their factory installed angle, and likely would be when trimmed to the correct length, while managing to maintain compatibility with ring clamp shifters from either brand. This is what stealth cable reading should have always been, rather than what it has become. The only thing holding them back from visual perfection in my mind is the lack of fun and interesting colors, so the silver and black options score a 9 out of 10 in the aesthetics category. In terms of build quality, the Piccola HDs are simply on another level. There is zero play in the lever blade pivot, everything lines up exactly as it should throughout, and there are no cosmetic marks or blemishes to speak of. The titanium lever blade not only has the wow factor, but it's a functional use of a premium material that has at least one concrete performance benefit. These brakes earn an easy and also unmatched perfect 10 in the build quality category. Now, like the Maximas, the Piccola HDs are far from the most adjustable brakes out there. They sport a tooled reach adjustment screw on the lever blade that uses a 2mm hex key, and that's about it. There's no bite point adjustment, no leverage ratio adjustment, and no other adjustments worth mentioning. Trickstuff has reused their 2-piece 2-hex bolt bar clamp from their 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙼𝙇𝙎 model, allowing you to remove and install these brakes without having to adjust other bits of your cockpit. Trickstuff also offers direct mount adapters for both SRAM and Shimano shifters. Ring clamp shifters can also be used as I have done here, although I found that due to the way the hose exits the master cylinder, I was unable to reach my optimal shifter position about the handlebar axis. It was perfectly usable where it was though, and I'm glad there is no deliberate anti-consumer interference designed into the equation. It's worth noting that the Piccola lever features a highly angled lever body that moves the handlebar contact surface significantly farther outboard than is typical on other brakes. Structurally, this is of course a good thing, although it meant that my ideal lever blade position was with the master cylinder contacting the lock ring of my very normal grips. Those with smaller hands or who brake with their middle finger, yes, there are more than one of you, may not be able to move the levers far enough outboard to suit their preferences. The C42 caliper uses SRAM's guide pad shape standard, which has historically been well supported by shops worldwide. Future support from SRAM is unknown given the recent transition away from this pad shape entirely, though Trickstuff will continue to offer brake pads for many years into the future and what they refer to as their 850 pad shape. I almost always prefer to use the most powerful and therefore least fatiguing option available, so all of my testing was performed with their Power Plus brake pads installed. It's also worth noting that the C42 caliper is only compatible with rotors up to 2.1mm thick, rather than 2.3mm of some other brands. In general, a lack of adjustability is not inherently a problem if a product meets your specific needs straight out of the box, but it still is a significant point that many people care about. The Piccola HDs score a 4 out of 10 for their below average level of adjustability, similar to other European hyper brakes. Since these brakes were not yet released during my testing period, it was up to me to install them, and thankfully this was as easy as it possibly could have been. This is because on my size 1 Privateer 161, the external cable routing length matches the hose lengths of the pre-assembled and factory bled brakes closely enough that I never had to disconnect them or shorten either of the hoses. I literally bolted both brakes onto my bike, made sure the pistons advanced evenly, and that the rotor was centered within the caliper, and that's it. Not a massage required. Trickstuff ships their brakes with 170cm rear and 90cm front hoses, and by sheer luck that's exactly what I needed. I can imagine that larger sized frames with exceptionally long cable routing path lengths may have an issue with this pre-installed hose length. Internally, the Piccola HD Titanium appears to be identical to the outgoing carbon model, so in the name of completeness I decided to watch the full bleeding procedure video anyways, and I discovered nothing out of the ordinary. Trickstuff uses Bionol in all of their brakes, a proprietary brake fluid derived from vegetable oil, primarily used for its high boiling point and low viscosity, even in lower temperatures. They mentioned that only Bionol is to be used, and that no other mineral oil should be substituted in its place. A few people complain online about the Piccolas being hard to bleed, but people complained a fair bit more about the Maximas too, and we had absolutely no issues with those when following Trickstuff's instructions to the letter. It certainly isn't as simple as the Trinity, nothing really is, but it appears to be very average overall. Trickstuff sent me a pair of their HD rotors to use for testing, so I installed a 203mm rotor in the front and a 180mm rotor in the rear, a combination that I am very familiar with. These rotors are both good looking and fairly reasonably priced too, and I particularly like the rounded edge for installation and marginal crash safety too. As I mentioned before, Trickstuff's service documentation is excellent for both bleeding and teardown style servicing, and the Piccola HD will be the same story. Trickstuff appears to be aggressively trying to expand into the North American market now that they have the financial and distribution support of DT Swiss. So although their brakes are exceptionally rare on the trails around here these days, I expect that to slowly change as they see more widespread adoption in the Canadian market. This will also come with faster spare parts availability and service shop familiarity over time. I'm going to give the Piccola HDs a 6 out of 10 in the serviceability category for their average complexity bleed and installation, below average shop familiarity, well above average service documentation, and a verbal commitment to providing adequate spare parts coverage in the future. I fully expect that this score will rise in the years to come. And now it's finally time to talk about performance. Do the Piccola HD Titaniums live up to their marketing hype as being a brake designed for my exact use case? The short answer is yes. But nobody watches my channel for a short answer. After secretly betting in the brake pads using EB's brake betting machine, the Piccola HDs had almost their full power. I found that in the past, Trickstuff brake pads are some of the easiest to bet in, which is something that lightweight riders like myself will really appreciate, falling only short of 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍𝙎 green pads in my experience. The first thing that you will notice is that the lever dead stroke is exceptionally light, to the point where you can actually feel a bump in the force curve when releasing lever from the bite point to its resting position in the parking lot. I would assume that this bump is a result of the lever's return spring being absolutely as light as possible, and you're actually feeling some of the fluid moving within the master cylinder. It's very neat, and not something that I noticed at all while riding. Trickstuff has historically demonstrated an excellent understanding of how reduced input force correlates to a reduced rider fatigue, something that they explicitly called out in their Maxima Kickstarter, and this Piccola HD is no different. The bite point is relatively soft, but it's consistent and well defined, which I'd argue is ideal, and the lever blade travels a standard, predictable distance throughout its stroke. Throughout my testing, I managed to put in 1,000-meter rides on all 5 of my local mountains. I specifically chose trails that represented the broadest group of intended uses possible, from low-angle flow to double black diamond tech to steep chutes and even some skinnies. The Piccola HDs were immediately very intuitive to use across this wide range of trails, with a predictable, linear ramp up to peak power. They aren't the most powerful brakes I've ever tested, but they also don't claim to be either, and I found that they had more than enough power to minimize rider fatigue on several steep, sustained top-to-bottom runs down some pretty aggressive trails. Whenever the force curve is far enough to the left, as is the case here, more power isn't always a good thing since it takes away from modulation. I felt like my 203-180 rotor setup was well suited to my weight, ability, and trail selection, and it's something that I could absolutely keep on my personal bike, though heavier riders may opt to upsize the rotors on both ends if they're looking for a bit more oomph. The linear power curve shape of a radial lever is often characterized as a direct feel in reviews, and the Piccola HDs definitely fit that definition. These brakes are intuitive to modulate at every point on their power curve, which makes flirting with the edge of traction just that much easier regardless of the conditions. I was immediately familiar with their characteristics on the very first trail I rode, though that could be slightly related to my personal bike having the most similar brake to the Piccola HDs installed. The titanium lever blade is not just a work of art either. It's probably my favorite piece of this puzzle. The lever blade shape is perfect, at least as far as my preferences go. The relatively flat finger contact patch does a great job at reducing average finger pressure, with generous radii on the top and bottom edges that go the extra mile to increase rider comfort. The hexagonal cutouts do a fantastic job of increasing finger grip, both with and without gloves, and manage to do so while saving weight and looking awesome too. A slippery surface was one of my complaints about the Maximas, so it's nice to see this completely eliminated here. And there's no noticeable flex to speak of while riding, despite the obvious lack of material present. If I could install this lever blade onto all of my bikes, I would seriously consider doing it. They're also scarily lightweight for the power that they punch, likely having the best power to weight ratio of the entire industry. The Piccola HD Titanium is undoubtedly one of my favorite performers on the trail, but there are 2 points that hold it back from perfection for everyone. The first is that there will be a very small percentage of riders that it is simply not powerful enough for, even with the bigger rotors. Trickstuff will be the first to agree with this, and rightly suggest that their 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍𝙎 and Maxima models will better suit the needs of those riders, which is absolutely true. My best guess is that riders under 100 kilograms or so will have no issues when using 223mm rotors, and that those over that weight should probably consider a different model. The other point is the dead stroke travel distance. I mentioned in my Maxima review that the dead stroke was a bit longer than average, and also a bit longer than I'd prefer, and the Piccola HDs are no different here. The bite point on my factory bled brakes is very consistent and not at all what I'd call spongy, and the dead stroke travel distance roughly matches what is shown in their official bleeding video, indicating that this is likely a design comment rather than a setup and installation one. I can't think of a performance benefit to a longer dead stroke, but I can certainly think of one for a shorter one, and it would be nice to see a bite point adjustment added to all Trickstuff models in the future. These sound like minor complaints because they genuinely are. The Piccola HDs can do almost everything for almost everyone, and I'd be more than happy to mount these to any of my personal bikes for the foreseeable future. They deserve a 9 out of 10 in the performance category for being truly impressive with only minor drawbacks for a specific subset of riders, those of which should probably wait for my 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍𝙎 review soon. In terms of consistency, the Piccola HDs never wandered, pumped up, or hesitated in any way throughout my testing. I stored them vertically for weeks at a time, in a hot black car with the wheels off, and rode them across a wide range of temperatures on the trail. I wouldn't recommend installing these on a park bike, as I think that there are better options available from even Trickstuff themselves, but I have no doubt that they will remain as consistent day after day like Eric's Maximas did. These brakes were also virtually silent throughout my testing, with no pad rattling or repetitive squealing to speak of. Only after one single huge descent did I experience some minor rotor rubbing, and this was quickly remedied by recentering the rotor between the pads and has not reappeared since. They feel genuinely just as good after over 6,000 meters of riding as they did when I installed them, and although I'm aware that's not the biggest sample size, they still deserve a 10 on the invisibility category as a component that I never had to think about while riding. Innovation is an interesting category this time, as it is scored against the market options available at the time of a product's release. Trickstuff hasn't reinvented the wheel with their Piccola HD Titanium, and they're completely open about that in their media kit, stating proven brake, new lever within their first 3 slides. They aren't even the first to release a 3D printed titanium lever blade, as Gravity Components managed to do so last year, along with potentially others before them. But what they have done is brought a relatively new technology into the mass market for the first time. The Piccola HD Titanium is, at least in theory, a complete brake set that a customer could walk into a shop and buy from their inventory this year, and it has a 3D printed titanium lever blade that is not only gorgeous, but also comes with notable performance benefits. This is a really cool thing, and I believe that as metal 3D printing becomes more affordable, it will slowly become more commonplace within the industry too. Trickstuff definitely hasn't made aluminum lever blades obsolete, nor have they made other brake sets obsolete, but seeing these in person will have you convinced that this is a real innovation. So they score an 8 out of 10 for the innovation category. In terms of reliability, as always, it's hard to draw any meaningful conclusions about any new product, and that's especially true about a product that I'm reviewing that isn't even public yet. My experience was excellent, and nothing leads me to believe that these brakes will be any less reliable than Trickstuff's existing Piccola models that people seem to have very few negative things to say about online. Instead, I'll focus on dispelling a myth instead. A small percentage of riders believe that having a weaker lever blade is actually a positive characteristic, as it will act as a sacrificial part in a crash and save the master cylinder from further damage. I decided to ask the experts at Trickstuff what they thought, and they mentioned that they had levers made from aluminum, carbon, and titanium. All performed well in crash cases. A weaker lever does not provide any additional protection for hydraulic components. For us, safety issues play a major role. When a lever breaks in a crash, it can leave behind sharp edges that pose a risk of injury to the rider. The robustness of the titanium lever means it only breaks under extreme force. Additionally, we've integrated a predetermined breaking point close to the pump to ensure that in the rare event of a break, no sharp edges are left behind. Now, if you're intentionally designing a weak spot for a lever blade to fail in a crash situation, you probably aren't worried about damage to components further upstream, and it's best to trust the experts here. I'm going to give the Piccola HD Titaniums a 9 out of 10 in the reliability category, only because I'm not comfortable awarding a 10 to any product that hasn't seen at least some amount of time in the market to truly prove itself. And finally, we have value, probably the toughest topic today. Unless I'm missing something obvious here, there's a large and slightly confusing price difference between the Canadian distributor at 2,000 Canadian dollars, buying from the US distributor at the current exchange rate of 16.31 Canadian dollars, and buying from Trickstuff directly at the current exchange rate of 14.55 Canadian dollars. For the purposes of this review, I choose to believe that the price of a set of brakes to your door is 14.55 Canadian plus tax, and I would encourage you to do your research here too to potentially save a significant chunk of money. To state the obvious, you don't need brakes this expensive to ride at a high level. You can find the majority of performance at a few cheaper price points, and those of you with set budgets need not even listen to this section of the video. But value is not simply performance divided by price. So the question then becomes, are these brakes higher quality and or higher performing than the competition, and do they offer anything the others don't? And I believe the answer to that is yes. The build quality of the Piccola HDs is unmatched at any price point, and they offer a very impressive level of performance in a well-rounded package. DT Swiss has big plans to grow Trickstuff into a much larger brand over the coming years, and that will only serve to benefit the customers with increased access to spare parts and service shop familiarity. Their documentation is top-notch, and their commitment to providing service parts and spares, although unwritten, has a solid reputation for a reason. The Piccola HDs are not a brake that you buy, ride for a season, and then sell when you buy a new bike. They're a brake that you buy for years or potentially even decades to come. In the long run, this strategy has the potential to actually save you money, and is the reason why I only buy XTR or X01 chains for my bikes. Trickstuff brakes have also held their value exceptionally well in the used market, although that trend seems to be weakening with their increasing focus on expanding beyond their domestic German market. To this day, I have no regrets about buying my N10 Trinities at full retail pricing, and I maintain that they would have been cheaper overall than the 3 sets of XTR brakes that I went through when various bits failed on them. Expensive doesn't always mean better, but you do get what you pay for to an extent, and I think it's fair to award the Piccola HDs a 6 out of 10 in the value category. I would not hesitate to spend this kind of money if this sounds like what you've been looking for, and I'll be keeping mine around despite the opportunity cost of doing so. Add them all up and the total is 78 out of 100, which places them here against all the other brakes that I have significant experience with. The Piccola HD Titanium is an excellent choice both on and off the trail, and its light lever action combined with its linear power delivery make it a very intuitive and familiar option. It never once hesitated, even when debatably being taken outside of its intended use, and managed to effectively reduce rider fatigue on long sustained descents. The titanium lever blade isn't just bicycle jewelry, it's functionally superior too, and I'd bet these brakes provide the highest power to weight ratio of the entire industry. Keep an eye out for my 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍𝙎 review and comparison coming soon to find out if the Piccola is right for you. Now, there are a couple of interesting comparisons to make here. Let's start with the obvious one, the Intend Trinity. Both are German hyper brakes with 4-piston calipers and radial levers. Both are in the I don't have a strict budget realm, although the Trinity is approximately 14% cheaper. The Trinity is mindlessly easy to bleed, and also has a steeper slope on the power curve. Without having a dyno, I'd bet that the Trinity is one rotor size more powerful, or around 10 to 15% more powerful than the Piccola HD. The Trinity is also around 64 grams or 15% heavier than the Piccola HD for the Enduro version, which is slightly more than a 23mm increase on your front rotor would be. Intend does not offer direct mount adapters for Shimano shifters, whereas Trickstuff does, but their calipers can accommodate up to 2.3mm rotors instead of 2.1mm rotors. The lever feel on the Trinity is excellent, but the Piccola HD's titanium lever takes things to the next level in terms of grip and comfort. Trickstuff also has significantly more functional bar clamps that don't require the use of a T10 bit, or adjusting your cockpit setup during installation or removal. Both brands have solid reputations for providing high quality and timely support, though Trickstuff may begin to take the edge here in the future as DT Swiss aims to expand the brand globally, and I bet that Piccola HDs will be in stock significantly more often than the elusive Trinities are. I genuinely think that most people, including myself, would be happy with either brake, and it all comes down to your preferences here. I'll be keeping my Trinities on my Claymore, and I'll be searching for a shorter travel platform for my new Piccola HD Titaniums to play to their nuanced strengths and differences. The other obvious comparison here is against the Lewis LV4, kind of the elephant in the room. It's no surprise that the LV4 is, at the very least, heavily inspired by the Piccola HD with its 4-piston layout and radial master cylinder. I had the opportunity to test out an LV4 in the parking lot last year, and they seemed like a solid option, though I did not have enough time on it to confidently add it to my scale. In general, my experience with Lewis brakes has been a positive one, and they do offer tremendous performance per dollar, but all 3 genuine Trickstuff brake sets that I've tried offered both improved performance and a higher build quality. The 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍𝙎 I've been testing offer a sharper bite point and higher peak power than Lewis's LH4 and even LHP model, which is their Maxima derivative. Trickstuff has significant experience in the hydraulic brake segment and have built up a reputation for quality products and after-sales support for more than 2 decades. They have also promised a warranty page to be coming shortly on their English website, and I cannot find the same on Lewis's website either. The reality is that Lewis makes solid products, but Trickstuff's brakes are noticeably better when you're able to test them back to back, something that should not come as a surprise given the price gap between them. And it's really less of a conversation about monetary value than it is about your personal values and code of ethics. I am glad the mountain bike community has both options available, and I maintain that they cater to 2 nearly exclusive sets of customers, having little to no impact on each other's overall business metrics. I would definitely choose to save up for the real deal if I was an anonymous customer with a real job, and you know that's true since I bought a set of Trinities. Now it's time to talk directly to the manufacturer. Dear Trickstuff, thank you for believing in the value of honest, independent reviews by sending me these brakes prior to launch. Both myself and my audience really appreciate that. Now let's get down to business. I do really like these Piccola HD Titanium brakes, enough that I'm going to keep them around and hopefully build a special bike around them eventually, but they are not quite perfect. My biggest complaint about these brakes, apart from their price, is the fact that the calipers use the SRAM guide pad standard. Of course, there was no way to know that SRAM was about to make it obsolete by overhauling their entire brake lineup this year, and I know you make your own pads too, but I hope to see a C43 caliper in the future that utilizes the SRAM code or Shimano 4-piston standard for maximum convenience at any shop in the world. The other running change that I would love to see is the addition of a bite point adjustment screw to reduce the dead stroke travel of the lever to near zero as desired. And remember the good old days when you used to offer every brake in every color? I get that that's probably too much of an inventory management headache to bring back, but I'd love to see more exciting colors from time to time, especially since titanium can be anodized in some pretty unique ways. The world has too much grey and silver in it already, and at the end of the day, we're all just playing in the woods, wearing colourful costumes and styrofoam hats, so why not have a little fun with it too? I hope that you see the success that you're looking for with your global expansion, and I'd be keen to eventually test out a pair of your 2-piston Piccola brakes too. Thanks for watching.